Absolutely. Grateful to have you guys. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome, 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 especially to our live crew. Great to see you on a 1 to 10 scale. How are you feeling right now? Throw that in the chats. I hope it's going to be 10. If not, we're going to make it 10 by the end because we have a very special call. We have a good friend, a mentor, an inspiration, someone that just loves people, loves life, and man, it's just a lot of fun. And we have the opportunity today to pick the mind of somebody that has literally been transforming people's lives, educating on their health and hormones all around the world. We got Dr. Kristal in the house. I'll intro you formally in a bit, but Kristal, how are you feeling? What's on your mind?
Oh, I am just overflowing right now. I'm so grateful to be where I am. I right now, if for any of those who may follow me on social media, if you've known me prior to this evening, you're probably really sick and tired of hearing about my birthday. But I am not sick and tired of hearing about my birthday. So I just turned 50.
Wow. Congrats.
And the reason that I'm not, thank you. The reason that I'm not tired about hearing about 50 is I'm here today because of what my 40th birthday was like.
Hmm.
And so when I share my story and whenever you want me to do that, like I want to talk about that because it's those moments in life when we get to evaluate where we are that change where we're going. And that's where I was 10 years ago. And it put me to be right in this moment here today with you guys. And so it's like the precipice of I jumped off the cliff at 40 and said, I'm gonna change my life one way or another. And I feel like I landed on the ground here on this 50th birthday. And instead of just like looking up and being like, oh, that was a really long fall, I looked at myself and said, let's go. And I have just like have this troop of people coming behind me. And I just want everybody to be a part of it.
Oh my gosh. Who here is ready to change your life, by the way? Put a me in the comments if you accept that, you declare that. Um, we're going to get right into this. So, for those of you brand new, like, what the heck is this call about and everything? Maybe you're on here because you heard about these quote unquote hashtag skinny drops and hormone balancing and weight loss and all these things. Maybe you've seen Crystal's photo, by the way. Who here has seen Crystal's photo around the internet somewhere? Like, really? And your videos,
Lime green shirt has to go. Lime green shirt. We need a new shirt.
and we got some photos today, actually, which is good. So take us back there, Crystal. We're going to talk about how life changes, and you've had quite the incredible life, and these are just some highlights here. So, who was Crystal over 10 years ago?
That girl over there on the left. Um, so I have been a chiropractor for 26, 24. Oh, I've been licensed for 24, but there's like 8 years of college in there. So I feel like a lifetime of it. So over 30 years of doing chiropractic and heavy emphasis on functional med and science, not just your normal walk in, rack them, crack them, get them adjusted, and send them out the door. I've always had this desire to get to the source of an issue, not just deal with the symptoms. And so I had an incredible practice. People would fly in and stay a month in Wyoming while I worked on them, and get their bodies reset and then sent them out the door for their regular life, maybe once a year, a couple times a year. And I would see them. And so I had a lot of children and women that I worked with too. My little office. But when we look at health, I was sort of a hot mess. I was taking care of everybody else. I never saw the scale go over 300. At 297, I had a little bit of a meltdown and was like, I refuse to watch it go over. And I think there's somebody in this room that you'll hear this. I had the biggest fear that I would step on the scale and it would say error.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh no, I can't. Something has to change. I have to do something. Um, I had even before that 40th birthday, about 2, 3 years before that, um, had done a gastric sleeve because I didn't know what else to do to get the results. Yeah, that's really close to that time of getting the sleeve done. It might have been after it, but I mean, I was heavy and I did a half marathon. I did 2 half marathons. So it wasn't like I wasn't trying to do the things. And so I want you to think about that when I say I was 270 pounds and I did a half marathon. What we put our bodies through. How strong is your body? To think about what I did, I now weigh 130 some pounds. If you looked at me today and said, okay, James, jump on my back. Let's go for a piggyback ride. And I'm going to take you 13.1 miles. But you guys, that's in essence what I did. I carried 2 humans 13.1 miles, not just once, but twice. And if you told me to do it today, I'd be like, there's no way I could do it. And so you might be sitting here today going, there's no way I can do it. And I want you to know that the likeliness is the life that you're living is twice as hard as what it should be. I could have had a much simpler, easier life if I just would have gotten back to the basics. So the girl on the right is just back to the basics. In fact, I just added in working out. So please cry for my quads because right now they're crying. But I'm back in the gym, and this time it's not to be the athlete I used to be. And I told James yesterday, I said, I literally used to work out until I would make myself sick because that's what an athlete does. You push yourself to your limits. At least that was the athlete that I was. And now it's changed. I Now it's not about going to my limits, it's about discovering who I really want to be. And I want to work out because I want to move my body. I want to work out because I want to be stronger when I get older. I want to carry these bones up the street, and I want to carry my own dang bag. And I don't need someone to lift my bag for me because I'm weak. I want them to lift my bag for me because, well, it's really nice when people put your bags up for you. So I'm like, I spent a month being taken care of in Tahiti, and I came back and I'm not doing well coming back into the real world. So um I like to be pampered and taken care of. Yeah, right? There's something about luxury and lifestyle, and it's for those who want it, and I do. I want it. And I was living so far from that. Um, I was giving everything to everyone else and just taking this little bit back for myself. And the roles have reversed. Now I live, but when I live, it's to help inspire and help someone else to know they can do the same thing. Because it doesn't serve me to play small anymore.
Amen to that, sister. I think we just end and we're done. But I
We're
guess we got
out.
to talk
Burn
about
out.
some things. But this is a message for all of us today that good is the enemy to great, because we can all be good enough, right? We can all settle. I mean, I'm tripping out that you ran even a half marathon. I have never ran a half marathon anyway. It's like, wow. But you made a decision to make something different. And I'm curious. So what inspired you to finally say things are going to be different?
Well, I think I've always known life is a mind game. There's a book out there, The Battlefield of the Mind. The
Hmm.
life is a mind game. Do you know how I did the half marathon? This is so ridiculous when y'all hear this, but this is the power of my brain, and you have the same power. A half marathon Like the people that do it really good do it in 2 hours. You have to finish in 5. The average is 3.5 to 4. And I'm like, well, I go and shop at the mall and walk for 3.5 to 4 hours. If all I have to do is walk for 4 hours, I can do a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it's breaking things down to the smallest like portion that you can do. Like, cause the big, like if I was like, would I walk 13 miles in 4 hours? I don't know. But can I walk 4 hours? Yeah. Now I want you to know I wanted to die after those 4 hours because apparently walking at the mall is very different than walking a marathon. Um, oh my gosh, it was quite the thing. But it really, our brains really are our limit. And I've gotten to the point where I refuse to let my brain be what limits me. I am not going to be the person that limits me. Something else can get in my way and I'll find a way around it, but I'm not going to be that person.
Sense. Got the mind around. I'm curious in the audience today, who here, if you know that there's something that could change your life for the positive, are you willing to let yourself get out of your own way today? Right? Put a I am in the chat if that's in the below, because there's a lot of tools. Right? We're going to talk about a tool today. There's a lot of methods, there's a lot of different things on a health related note, but it's not about just head knowledge, because we all know the things that we should do to have a life change, but it's what you're talking about, Dr. Kristal, that is so astounding to see how, a decision can't change your destination overnight, but it can change the direction of it. And 10 years later, so much has happened. So as a medical professional, you understand the body to a level that most of us would never understand. You've seen all types of health stuff. You tried all types of health stuff. And then you stumble upon these drops. It seems too good to be true. And my background is bio as well too. So when I heard about this, I'm like, nah, that's just expensive urine. It's like that's some whack science or something, homeo what? Like, so
Right.
can you talk to us about why these drops, even from a medical perspective, like what are they?
Yeah.
What are they actually doing to us?
Right. Well, the very, so I was in a transition and the drops arrived in a large box with multiple nutritional products. And they really are tools. Every nutritional product is a tool, no different than broccoli is. But when they all showed up in this box, I was going through it. And at the time, I was super stressed out, really stressed out. And how many of you know your body absolutely like turns into another body when you're stressed out? You're like, who am I? What happened? Like, have you ever said to yourself, I can't even stand myself? That's literally where I was. Like, I was a hot mess. And I had been really focused on getting healthy. And I had decided that I was going to stop chasing the scale. I was going to start chasing health. So if it was healthy, I would keep walking with it. And if I got to a point where I was no longer getting the results I wanted, or it wasn't healthy, because you can be as extreme into something, just like I said, vomiting during a workout is not healthy. So I got to rein it back. So here I am, and I was doing clean keto, and I lost 80 of the 160 pounds. And I was using nutritional products, and I was, lifting weights, and I was doing good. And then this stress came, and everything I was doing stopped working. And I was like, oh, and then I started to gain. And that's when I had the panic attack, because it was like, no, 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 no. Because I had just finally broken that. For those of you who've never been over 200 pounds, we call it Wonderland. When you're over 200 pounds and you get into the 100s, it's Wonderland. And I had just got back into Wonderland, and I was like, I cannot go over that 200-pound mark again. And so I was panicking, and I see these drops, And I've always loved homeopathy. I think it's fascinating. I have spent my whole life dealing with autoimmune issues, 5 years old, major reaction after immunizations. And so sent me down, and it's how I ended up in the world of chiropractic and functional med. But all these years of dealing with a medical world that didn't really have a place for me. I felt like a lab rat.
Mm.
And so I've always been fascinated by Chinese medicine and herbs and homeopathy and the world of kinesiology, anything that wasn't normal. I've always been very curious about, like, tell me how it works.
Mm.
So when I saw that box of homeopathy, I was like, now this I have not used. Let me look into this. And so I read the booklet. Okay, sort of read the booklet. How many of you sort of read the booklet? And you looked at it and you're like, this is keto. I can do this. It's not keto, right? Like, we've got the clinical trials. If you added the drops to any diet that you're doing, you're going to lose twice as much weight. So you can feel free to diet. Here's what I wanted. I wanted to stop dieting. I wanted to actually get to the solution, get to the problem. And so as I read the book, it just seemed different. It didn't seem like a diet, but the meal plan looked like keto. So I was like, I got this. This is Whole30. This is like, I've done all of this before. Start using the drops. Well, I stopped gaining, but I only lost like 6 pounds. Okay. Now I'm a professional weight losser. Like, it should have been 20. Like, I know how to lose 20 pounds. I don't know how to keep 20 pounds off, but I know how to get them off. Okay. And I'm like, 6 for real. Like, I was good. I was very good. I mean, I had some dairy. I had some creamer in my coffee. I had string cheese. That is all on plan. I had some Greek yogurt. It's healthy. And I got about 6 weeks in, and someone kind of pushed my buttons. And they're like, you've lost how much? And I'm like, 6 pounds. They're like, really? That's it? And I'm like, that's it? Did you, what? Right? The athlete in me, that competitive, I was like, that's it? Are you for real? Did you just slam me? Like, I am on plan. And they're like, so tell me what you're having for breakfast. Because that's where we usually screw it up, is in breakfast, because that's where our dairy comes in. But here's what happens. We eat that dairy and it breaks down to sugar, and our body has to spend like till 1 p.m. burning all the sugar we took in at breakfast. And then you go and have fruit and veggies for your little snacks. And then you mid-morning or mid-afternoon, you do a little bit more Gouda, right? And then you're into your evening and your body's like, so when do we get to burn fat? Because you keep giving me sugar.
Mm.
And so I was just not ever I was eating healthy, but I just kept giving my body just enough that it never got into the fuel stores. And that's all fat is fuel storage. So she said, no dairy, none, nada, no coffee, not 2 tablespoons, not one smidge. If you're from the South, you know what a smidge is. Okay. If you don't, you got to look it up. All right. Not one smidge. I lost 16 pounds the next 3 weeks. See, it wasn't a wasted time in those 6 weeks. I was really building my body up. I was cleansing out a lot of other sugar. My hormones were doing things, my thyroid, I was supporting so many things that were good. I just wasn't getting to the fat. And that was still the only thing I was looking at. I was, irregardless, I'm sleeping better. I haven't had any hot flashes. My energy's better. I was ignoring the non-scale. I was still only looking at the one measurable thing. So I want you guys to know, read the book and then read it again. And then drink one more time. Coffee with no creamer, that is. And yes, that one glass of wine matters. I know, but here's what it is, y'all. It's not forever. So I got the weight off. It took me 8 months to get the last 80 pounds, an average of 10 pounds a month. I got it off, but that was almost 6 years ago. I've kept it off. And that's the difference, is that the drops are going to support your body. And I want you to think a breaker box. You guys know the breaker box in your house, the panel? And in that panel are all these organs, all these systems in your body. And for whatever reason, however our lifestyle is, however we've eaten, the medicines we've taken in, the chemicals, the surgeries, environmental, stress, your spouse, I mean, your mother, your like whoever, your dog. My dog creates more stress in my life than anybody. Y'all, it blows circuits. And then we just keep rewiring. Like, oh, go make a new wire and a new pathway instead of flipping the breaker back on and resetting. And I believe what happens when we're utilizing the drops and we're eating correctly and we're drinking the water and we're removing all of the disruptors that got us in the mess in the first place, we reset. We go and we flip all those circuit breakers back on. Now, can you blow a circuit again? Yep. About once a year, I get to go back on the drops. It's usually after fudge season. I mean, Christmas. I love grandma's fudge. I'm not giving it up. It's my favorite part of Christmas. Maybe I'll give it up. I honestly have gotten to the point where now there's loops and things that I think and I say, and it's not really who I am anymore. I think I might have had one bite of fudge this year at Christmas.
But who are you, Kristal?
Right? I know. It was like, oh, it's so sweet. Why do I eat this? And so it's funny. If there's anything I can say is don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. Make a list of who the new healthy you is. What, like, do you really like chocolate? I'm like, I don't really like chocolate now. I realize I really don't. Like, I liked everything that chocolate was on, but I like go back to it and I'm like, it tastes different. Like, what did Reese's do to the Reese's cup? It tastes like crumb. Right? And I'm like, is it really Reese's fault or did I change?
You said so
So
many amazing things. Oh, go for it, Kristal.
no, I was just going to say, so be willing to let it loose, become the person you've wanted to be.
Guys, how many nuggets did you get from that? Like, I love, Kristal, you said, I think paradigm shifts, right? Because when we think about weight loss, we're trained and we're conditioned to think about it a certain way. It's like, we're going to go on this program, we're going to die and diet, and we're just going to do this thing. And all right, it's going to be this struggle. And that in itself is a huge thing. And I think the first thing that you shared is this paradigm of not chasing the scale, but chasing health, right? Put that in the chat, guys. I am chasing health. If that becomes your aim, everything else becomes a byproduct of that, and the decisions become a lot easier to make. Another aspect, so the drops, they do a lot of different things. It's a hormone balancing type of system. So you mentioned things like no hot flashes. You mentioned things like better mood and better sleep, and all those things are amazing. And a lot of people use it just for that as well too. But if your goal is to not just release weight, but to get to this new healthy you, then there's going to have to be some changes sometimes. So if you're feeling like you're stuck and you're like, I'm ready to make a life change right now, give the program a shot 100%. And I'm coachable. If I hear, Kristal, you told me that's what I got to do, then I'm going to do it. And it's not that bad. Because the list, for example, it's good stuff. It's,
Yeah.
you know, this is how we think, isn't it, Kristal? We're like, there's all this, but what about this? That's
One lady tonight was, where are carrots? And like, she is offended. And I'm like, well, they're on the list. I was like, I don't know. Where are the carrots? And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see them. And it is, we're so looking for the things we can't have instead of look at everything you can. I mean, they not just you can, that you get to eat. Because I have been on diets where I ate cabbage for 3 weeks. Y'all, 3 weeks of cabbage? Are you kidding me? Look at all of this that you get to have. Like, we've all done crazy things.
Mhm.
I mean, come on. This is how our grandparents ate. This is eating like a healthy adult. And we like want to fight about eating like a teenager with our chicken nuggets and our Pop Tarts. Like, stop it. That's not food. It's not. It's zero food in there, zero nutrition.
Absolutely. Star asked, are eggs on the list? Right here, there's eggs.
Right there. Right there.
You can eat almost, don't worry, Star. You can eat like the stuff on this list, if you look at it, it's kind of like duh.
It's
It's kind of
food.
right. It's kind of sad, Kristal, that it has to be like this has to be like a behavior change. Like this is going back to what we should be doing. We all know these things, but the drops do make it easier. You heard Kristal say they do double the fat loss in the clinical trials. They do curb cravings. And the bigger thing, I think the secret of why this system, from a fat loss perspective, a wellness perspective, also a long-term perspective, because you said keeping it off is key. And you haven't just kept it off, Kristal. You're like getting to the next level of your fitness and health. How are
Yeah.
you 50, by the way? Like you look younger now, right?
I think so. I'm like, man, I haven't even had to dip into like the whole world of like that. And I'm like, I'm saving that maybe for my 70s.
Come on, let's go.
I'm
Let's
good. I love it. It is good. Yes,
yes.
meat is on the list. The only meat that's not on the list is bacon, is
Mm.
pork, and I'm just going to leave it here. Have you ever seen a skinny pig? And I shouldn't have to say anything else than that because you haven't. So stop eating it if you don't want to look like it. I'm getting a little spicy. You might want to mute me.
Said it. Hey, you can be authority. It's your birthday week. You can say whatever that you want, So you one other question as well, too, Kristal. Everybody's different on this, but especially when it comes to extreme weight loss,
Yeah.
loose skin. Like, what's your take on that and what happens and whether it's on this program, like compared to others, like what have you seen there?
Yeah. Well, I certainly do have loose skin. Because you cannot stretch your body to 300 pounds and not expect to have some. So I'm always like, look, I have wings. They are proof. Someday I may trade my skin for scars, but I'm not there quite yet. But you can see like my whole body doesn't look like that. And so I believe the fact that we take it off, um, in a very healthy manner. This isn't a crash diet. So 10 pounds a month is not 20. It's also not 4. So it's just enough that keeps you going after it. But it's slow enough that your body can change with you and adapt. Our bodies are amazing. Now, there are things that you can add to help assist that. So it's all going to come from what you're putting in your cells. Okay. So I believe great cellular nutrition is key when you're having any change in your body. So after a surgery, you got a pump full of good nutrition. After a sickness, you got a pump full of good nutrition. Imagine if you were detoxing off 160 pounds of fat. How much good nutrition do I need to be pumping into my cells? Okay. So super nutrients. So we have basic nutrition. So like minerals and vitamins. Are you getting good ones? Make sure they don't have sugar in them, by the way, because a lot of nutritional supplements have sugar in them. Okay. Then you look for a super nutrient. A super nutrient is something that is like putting a cape on Superman. Right? You're putting your cape on when you take a super nutrient. So we've got a couple here that we absolutely believe in. But what I love about them is they're natural anti-inflammatories. So if you want to speed your metabolism up fast, you push the inflammation out of the cell and you replace it with nutrients. That's what a super nutrient does when you're losing weight. And then healthy fats. Healthy fats are the building block for all of the tissue in our body. Healthy, essential fatty acids. So we have a supplement. It's my secret. I share it every once in a while. Everybody always wants to know what it is, and I always reserve it for special times. So it's a supplement called Venali. Okay. Venali is, I was like, and of course a message tried to come in. Do you still have me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're good.
there he is. Sorry. I was like, wait, where'd my Zoom go? Venali is a grape seed extract that we get from Italy. It is the purest, cleanest version of grape seed extract. That's what I love about Partner Co. is we do not compromise on products and ingredients that aren't the best. So, do I want you to learn to read labels? Yes. But do I also want you to know that
Dramatic pause.
we have a board of, uh-oh, did I freeze?
You're here. You're back.
I get so excited, I start to blow out the computer. Okay. So we have a global group of physicians that are going through making sure you're getting the best. But that product, it's good for so many things. Heart health, because don't you think we need healthy fat for a muscle like our heart? But it's also really good for our skin. It's really good for our immune system and the cardiovascular support. It's also really good for your lungs. So a lot of people speak about they see a big difference with allergy when they are utilizing Venali, but I super dose Venali. So while I was going through my process, inside of my office, I would dose different nutrition. And so what does that mean? Think of like a hot tub. Your hot tub gets all out of control. And what do? You shock treatment it. You take this whole process and you slam it in there, and then you let it kind of settle down. And once everything settles, you have this amazingly great hot tub. Same thing with your body. You're going to take it and you're going to slam it, and then you're going to let the dust settle. And then all of a sudden, you're good again. So that's what I do with the essential fatty acids with Venali. I will take 6 a day for about 3 weeks. And then I go cold turkey and I go off of them for about 6 weeks. And then I do it again, 6 a day. And it's a really powerful antioxidant. It's just a really great thing. But I saw a massive difference with it and then our collagen products. So we have Burn, which is a protein drink. So that was kind of my mid-morning or mid-afternoon get through the end of the day. And that has, okay, it's called Burn for a reason, but it has ALA in it. That's my other secret nutrient. ALA burns belly fat, but ALA has to build on itself. You need 90 days is what the studies say of ALA in a row. And then all of a sudden it's like you shred. So I know some of us are addictive personalities, and you might have drank Burn for 90 days in a row, but I'm telling you, get that ALA in you, let your body take it, burn it, use it, and you'll absolutely love what it does. I said ALA, I meant CLA, conjugated linoleic acid.
Gosh, so good. Danielle, thanks for dropping these in the chat, by the way. I'm like salivating for some reason because I'm thinking about Burn and it tastes so good. It's like guilty how good it is because we know it's guilt-free because it's so good right there. Guys, there's been go back with your friend that connect you with this if you want more information on the drops, the Venali, the Burn, every single thing. And I just think that I bring it back home. I'm like, this is living proof. right, Kristal, you went through one of the most intense trials. Like you've been through the ringer. Like you are somebody that's gone through something that most people have not. And now to know you for who you are, how you are 10 years later, I wouldn't say you just dove off the cliff and landed. I think you flew. I don't think you ever landed yet. You know, it's like, it's incredible to see. So we're just so proud of you. We're just so honored to have you. And my last question for now would be this is someone's on here. They're, they've tried a lot of ways to lose weight. That is why they're on here. They've tried the diets, they've tried the stuff, they're about to give up. Why consider this Slenderize program? What really makes it different from anything else out there? Is it really worth it to give it a shot?
What makes it different? Because it was the first time someone got me to the root of why I gained it in the first place. Instead of dealing with all the symptoms and trying to find the shortcut to get back to the skinny version of Kristal, I've never been this version of myself, and you don't know what you don't know. And so I literally had to like venture into some, like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get the same results. What you've done doesn't work. We've been marketed low fat. We've been marketed artificial sweeteners. Like, none of that stuff is truth. Go back to truth. Go back to the basics. Even when I say it, you know, you feel it. You said something. You said you have all this stuff in your mind. You know what makes this different? Is I had to get into my heart. Am I worthy of eating real food? I don't want to cook it. What? You don't want to take the time to feed yourself, but your kids and your dogs got, my family doesn't want to eat it. They don't want to eat what? Healthy food? Well, no, because you haven't served it for years. That stinks that you're the reason, because, like, right, ladies, we're the ones that are buying. We're the ones bringing it in the house. They don't know what they don't know. So you might have to make spaghetti for them. And you know what? You pull out your meat sauce and your meat and you put it over spaghetti squash. And you let them have spaghetti. And you make barbecue chicken and corn, and you have some broccoli and cauliflower, and you don't put all the barbecue sauce on your chicken. See, you start to make the changes, and I promise you, people will follow you. And all of a sudden, you're going to feel better. And the best people to have follow you are your own people.
100%. Well said. Guys, who here got some value from Kristal today? Throw some emojis into the chat. We got something exciting around the corner as well too, Kristal, that I'd love to bring up as well. But you talk about super nutrients. We have a call. I want to invite every single one of you to bring all of your family, all. But there's this Renew launch that's happening this upcoming Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. What are you excited about with this?
You know what I'm excited about? Is that Renew and Slenderize are like the perfect marriage. It is the perfect combo. Because sometimes you're not going to do Slenderize perfectly. It's really hard to mess up taking a little tube, pouring it in a glass of water, and drinking it before you go to bed. You can't screw that up. And so when you put those two together, and it's just a magical combination. But I love Renew. It has one of those super nutrients in it. And so it's just a really great way to help people get out of their own way and see massive changes in their health. So I can't wait. And it tastes great. And it's really fun and cool. And it's one of those products that will go viral. Everybody will want this product. It's crazy what everything this does. But I don't want to tell you everything, because we want you to get on that webinar. We want you to hear all about it.
I call it the Fountain of Youth. So if you want to know what that is, check it out, guys. Invite everyone to this. You'll be the first to know about it. And on the renew note, we wanted as a community, Kristal, for to just honor you. We wanted to just thank you for your time. Guys, you may not know this, like we're friends, we're colleagues and everything, but nothing that we do benefits Kristal financially at all. If you know Kristal at all, she's an incredible entrepreneur, but she serves from the heart. She just wants to impact lives, use her story to transform others. And I know today, so many. I mean, we busted 100 lions on this call. We don't do that, Kristal. So there was something magical today.
Great.
But as a community, we wanted to come together and give you a little something just as a token of our appreciation, as a belated birthday gift.
I love birthdays. I love my life.
Yes. And I know that you just started getting back to the gym.
Yes.
And we wanted to, this is on your way already.
Oh, goodness. Holy smokes.
These are new colored Metcon. If you don't know these shoes, these are rated the #1 gym shoes. I actually have one, the male version, but they're Metcon 9s, Nikes. They're awesome. They're for weightlifting, running, everything. And they just look, you're going to be you're already the coolest person in the gym.
I'm thinking these are pretty cool.
Yes. So just a small token of our appreciation on behalf of all of us to you. Just thank you.
Thank you so much. I love it. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Absolutely. Guys, let's give Kristal another big round of applause. There are tons of love in the chat. Thank you so much, Kristal. Last quick announcement as well. You might be wondering, man, there's so many people around the world that need to hear this type of information, right? Who here thought of at least one person that needed to hear this conversation? Put a me in the comments below. And if you're interested in how this works, there's a fascinating opportunity. You might be like, how did Kristal go to Tahiti and go on these trips and everything? Well, tomorrow, there's a very strong business side to this. If you'd like to find out more information about that, we have two superstars who are going to be interviewing Liana and Winter. They're crushing it. They're sharing this. They found a way as friends and just doing this in a really fun, simple way that we want to share with you as well, too. So if you're interested in that, come back tomorrow, same time, same place as well, too. But other than that, everyone, we are so thankful for every single one of your time. Get back with your friend that connected you to this call if you have any more questions. But I think the biggest thing today is make a decision to change your life. The next, tomorrow might not change your life for forever, but you make a decision today, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will thank yourself. But other than that, everyone, hey, feel free to unmute yourself.